events of the last few days. I think they all got the referendum wrong, so I wouldn't really listen to them. Helen Lewis, Jan Ganesh, Isabel Oakeshott, welcome to you. Helen Lewis, let's start with Labour, the breaking story this morning. Hilary Benn fired. A number of shadow cabinet ministers now resigning. John McDonnell just telling me that Jeremy Corbyn will fight on and that he's never going to be a candidate. There are plenty of other Labour MPs ready to join the shadow cabinet, and Jeremy Corbyn has the support of the membership.
Well, clearly Jeremy Corbyn thinks that he can brazen it out. The big question is, what is Tom Watson going to do, his deputy? Very big figure within the party. Unfortunately, at the moment, he's trying to make his way back from Glastonbury. Looks like his mobile phone is probably about to run out of juice. He's got a couple of hours to wait until he can get a train back here. Total pandemonium. On any other day, of course, this meltdown in the Labour leadership would be the biggest story. But I think to a lot of people today, it probably feels like, bizarrely, a sideshow to the key questions: what happens now after Brexit, and who is going to be our next Prime Minister?
Well, let's come on to that. Who is going to be our next Prime Minister?
Do you know what? I think the predictions game at this point
is clearly the favourite, particularly since he was the face of the Leave campaign, the face of the winning side, is Theresa. But there will be a Stop Boris candidate, I'm sure, among MPs. Is that Theresa May?
Well, I'm flattered you're
right, isn't it?
I would absolutely agree with that, though what I would say is I've always thought Boris Johnson would be a shoo-in, particularly with the accelerated timetable that the Prime Minister has given for this leadership contest. This morning, I'm just having a little moment of doubt as to whether Boris is an absolute shoo-in. It's very strange that in the last 24 hours, he doesn't appear to have been on manoeuvres like so many of his other colleagues. I think he's been very flat-footed. We haven't seen much of him. And I think there will already be seeing quite strong signs of a backlash against Boris. So I wouldn't say that he's an absolute shoo-in.
But if he comes down to the final two, which the MPs across the road have got to decide, and it goes to the country, he wins, does he not?
all the polling suggests, well, and it depends whether or not we believe polling anymore, all the polling suggests that he's wildly popular with the members. However, that does break down in an interesting way, particularly in the country at large. He's incredibly popular when you say, who do you want to have a beer with? Who do you want in a time of national crisis? He scores much less well, and people might just feel this is a time of national crisis. But I think he's very hard to beat among the membership.
We shall see. He'll keep us busy over the summer. We thought we'd get a rest after the referendum. That's never going to happen. Now, you may currently be unfamiliar with Article 50 of the Treaty of Lisbon.